boys and girls. Today I am going to talk to you about adding and subtracting fractions with a like denominator. This is lesson 7.1, and we are looking at building fractions from unit fractions by applying and extending previous understandings of operations on a whole number. This is page 133 in the practice book. So when you look at this sample right here, this is a good example of what we could do. So when you see models, you can see that we have 3 circle holes, and they are divided up into 8 pieces. We know this is 8 pieces. We can count all of them, or we can actually look at the denominator. The denominator tells us how many pieces are in one hole. The numerator tells us how many pieces we are identifying in that hole for the addition problem in this case. So when you look at it, you're going to think, I have 1, 2, 3 of the 8 shaded in, so 3/8, and I'm going to combine that with 2 of the 8 shaded in, and if I put the 3/8 and the 2/8 together to make one to create the whole, I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8 at the end. Now, when you're doing subtraction, there's a way of noting that your subtraction, and that's what this X is for. This X is telling me that we are taking away those 3 pieces. So when I look at this, I want to look at the whole rectangle model. I need to count how many parts are in my whole. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts. So my denominator in this problem is going to be fifths. Now, when I look at this, I'm going to ignore the unshaded piece. I'm just going to look at the gray, all the gray pieces that we have here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 gray pieces. So that is my numerator. So now when I look at that, it is showing me that I have 4/5 to start with, but then this X is telling me that we are subtracting that amount from our original fraction. So I look at this, I have 1, 2, 3 parts that are X'd out. So I am going to make 3/5 there. And I have 4/5 minus 3/5. And that is what this is here, right here. I have 1/5 remaining. So that is my answer. 4/5 minus 3/5 equals 1/5. Now, also what I want to point out to you is that when you are looking at fractions and the denominator is your label. So I could look at this, I'm going to write it up here. If I have 4/5 minus 3/5, that equals 1/5. So that is what I want you to see is your denominator, if written out in words, is just a label for the numerator. It is telling you what shape or what size the part is of the whole. Let's look at number 3. 3 has two squares that we are going to be combining. Remember this, I'm looking at the sign. This is an adding problem. So I have 1, 2, 3 fourths. I have 4 here and 4 here. I am adding them together. So I have 1 shaded part, and in this one I have 2 shaded parts. So I have 1/4 plus 2/4, and my shades makes 3/4. Okay. Then if you look at number 4, same thing. I am making sure that I am looking at my adding sign, and they did the equation down here. So I have 2/6 plus 3/6, and now I have to look, how many shaded parts do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5/6. Okay, number 5. Oh, remember, this X is my clue that this is a subtraction problem. So they have the minus sign in the problem. So where did this 3/5 come from? I have 1, 2, 3 parts of this rectangle shaded in. Where did the 2/5 come from? I have 2/5 crossed out. So how many shaded parts are left? I have this one. So 3 minus 2 equals 1/5. So that is how you add and subtract fractions with like denominators using models. Thank you very much.